What a boring shirt.
Yeah, it's envy. What you're sensing from me is envy. So
That's usual. So, I guess to start, tell us how you got into the process. I mean, you came in at the halfway point of the season as far as writing goes. So half the episodes are written, and Nick knows, where he's going to go and where he's going to end up. Maybe. Does he? Okay, we'll get into that too. But are you is it all just laid out in front of you? Like, this is where we need to get, and this is where we need you to help us go?
Let's see. So Nick had written the first episode by himself and sent it in to HBO, and then they assembled a room. And typically he has written on his own for primarily for the first couple of seasons. And so David Milch, who did Deadwood, was in the room for episode 2, 3, and 4, like laying those out basically. And then HBO greenlit the Deadwood movie, which comes out this spring. I've read the script. I think it's going to be really good. So then that's when HBO called me and asked me to come out and meet with Nick. I had prior relationship with HBO, and Nick was a fan of Corey, and so I went out there and met with him, and he sort of told me more, in a very short summary of. I guess I read the first two. They sent me the first 2 episodes to read. I read the first 2 episodes. Went out to LA, talked to him about those. We got on really well, and then he sort of told me a little bit about what he imagined as being kind of the way this, more about the story thematically, more about memory, more about a man sort of looking back on his life and trying to sort of put the pieces of that life together. And the sort of prism of that retrospection being through this one case. And while the one case sort of devastated so many people and really this entire town, it also gave him the only things that he's ever loved, being a wife and 2 kids of his own. So trying to sort of reconcile that contradiction. And then he told me about like the last scene of the way he imagined it. And so in terms of details, I didn't really know anything beyond that. And then coming back, I read episode 3 and 4, and then when I went back out to join the room, I imagined that there was a lot of detail for 5 through 8, other than that last scene, and I was like, well, so what do we got? And he was like, I don't know, man. I was like, well, that's why we're here. We got to figure it out, and which was terrifying, but also it was very. I guess I admired the audacity of how many sort of narrative circles he'd opened in those first 4 episodes without like I would never have that brand of audacity to do that. That's kind of, so then we laid out 5 through 8 and started writing them.